welcome to another episode of When We Heal, the World Heals. I'm Trish Hay. I'm so excited to be here with you. It is the very end of 2024, and I'm reflecting on this year and felt really called to share about the power of your voice, of affirmations, of you hear a lot about manifestation, and this year has really been a year that my vision boards have come to life. And that I really learned to like love and care for myself more deeply. And uh, don't discount your words and your thoughts and how critical those are, right? Like I can affirm I love myself, but if subconsciously I have all these like inner like guilt and hatred or anger, like or think I'm ugly or something like that is going to affect the quantum field, right? But still affirm it. So your brain starts to hear that, but just realize that part of it is also like learning what are your thoughts, getting to know yourself, and also seeing what wounds are in there so that you can heal them, so you can transform them, so that you can receive those words and embody those words that you're calling in and those kind things that you're saying to yourself now. So, for me, I've been affirming for a while in my life and working to heal trauma and really feel and transform and transmute shame, anger, all of these things that I've been through. Um, and got to where I would look in the mirror, say, I love you so much, and have positive affirmations. I did Louise Hay's work and would just like really go through and loving every single part. Like, I love my eyes, I love my nose, I love my mouth, and all of the reasons. And it has been powerful and it is powerful. And yet I would still say that the most powerful thing is meditating and getting silent so I could hear what my inner thoughts were, so that I could understand what program was I running subconsciously. So I'm gonna always say that I feel like, and must be happens, like number one thing I feel you can do is learn to meditate, to get quiet, to get to know yourself. Um, and from there, you can change the program. So, what I did, this is 2024, beginning of the year, or maybe it must have been in December. I don't know what point I decided. This year, 2024, I am going to give myself um, love in the form of a retreat. Every single month, I am going to upgrade my life, treat myself. And at the time, I really like wasn't in such a place to even do this necessarily, but I just knew, like my higher self knew, like you need to start to really love yourself right now. And I had healed my illnesses. Things were going well, but I was still, I'd say, somewhat in survival. And the fact that I wasn't really receiving love and giving myself that love. And for me, retreat like was the thing, like to get out of my environment. My first retreat in January, I did it on my own. And I rented this beautiful home in San Diego. I bought all these facial masks and wonderful lotions and like meditated and just and ate, made the most delicious food and also just bought myself the most delicious food and like really took pleasure and joy in every bite of that food and knowing like I'm worthy of buying this wonderful meal at this, fancy restaurant and that I'm worthy of eating that and staying in this luxurious home and that I'm worthy of putting the juices in my body that I was at the time and drinking lots of water. And I was worthy of going out and meditating in the backyard and doing yoga, just like total self-care retreat. And then a lot of time just spent in silence. Like there was nothing to do. And I purposely didn't turn on the TV to like watch movies and stuff because I'm like, I'm going to be with me. I journaled a lot and got to know me better and learn to receive. I guess that's what I'll say I is the theme that this year I needed to learn is how to receive that love that I've been cultivating for myself. Now, how to like really receive and take in. I am worthy of this love now. I know this, but now let me take this in. Let me go and take action for myself. And so that started in January, and I was on a retreat. I loved and nourished myself so much. I still remember it was kind of awkward in a way to just be there and silent with myself, but I loved it, and I really loved it. And then I said, okay, we're going to keep doing this every single month. So also, I've been doing affirmations for a while, and I had the affirmation. One of my affirmations I had for the year was, I am a world traveler. Now, this, granted, here I am, at my age, I have not left the country before. I was not a world traveler. I didn't have a trip plan, not one, except for some local retreats, more local, going to Sedona. And then, which I did go to Sedona in February for a retreat, which was amazing. Um, but I had these affirmations like, what do I want to create in my life? I wanted to see the world, and I had gotten my health in a place where it's now an option that I could see the world. And before that, um, it was off the table because I was too sick. And I just thought, "Oh, I guess I'm never going to see the world, right? I'm lucky to just be alive in my home or whatever." But no, I get to thrive and have fun. So I was affirming that. I was just telling my brain that, right? Like, 'cause a lot of it is just reprogramming. There was a story that I don't travel, that I stay at home, that I'm also not worthy possibly of travel. I don't know all the stories, but it wasn't something I would see other people go, and it was like, that's for other people. So I just had a simple affirmation. I am a world traveler. And I was just reflecting on it like like I said, I didn't plan any trips even, but it turns out that I went to Bali this year and I went to Paris this year. And the way that manifested is when in March, I was already in my mode of I'm going in a retreat and treating myself um, every month this year for at least a weekend. So when the Bali retreat opportunity came up, and it came up just weeks before in March, I think that's also why I just had an inner knowing to go. But I mean, we're not just talking about leaving the country, we're talking about going the other side of the world as my first like solo out of the country trip. And I I jumped, right? Because I've been telling myself I'm a world traveler. I didn't have any fear. I was like, yeah, you got to go. You got to be there. Book it. Make it happen. Do, 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 do. And so then all of a sudden I'm in Bali, right? And I had the most beautiful, mind-blowing healing retreat that I could imagine. And I fell in love with Bali. Oh my gosh. I do want to stay there for extended periods of time, potentially move there. I'm now planning my own retreat in Bali, which is like the which is really beautiful, that I'm going to be hosting retreat in Bali now in March. And I just went this past March 2024. And now I'm having my own retreat in Bali 2025. Like, just follow your highest excitement, and then you don't know what's going to happen, because I also started to follow what felt good, what felt exciting to me without trying to figure it out. And no part of me thought I'm going to have a retreat in Bali. I just went, and it did transform my life. It opened me up so much to other cultures, other people. I met people from other countries, and it expanded my worldview. And I also just fell in love with Bali and the Balinese people. And I was treated like a queen by people there and by my good friend Trish. Like, I had a wonderful birthday there. And I really received that love that I'd been affirming that I'm worthy of. And I did receive it in Bali, and in a really great way, in a massive way. And I was like, I felt so abundant and cared for there, and excited for my life. And um, that just brought me on to like coming home and like, okay, what's the next retreat? What's it going to be? Um, I did do an online retreat because I had an injury to my knee. I did do an online retreat for a couple of days, even being in my home. That was very powerful. Uh, it's not the same as going away. I highly recommend getting away for a retreat if possible. Get out of your like regular creature comforts, your regular patterns. I believe that's more transformative. That's been my experience, and also to be with other people in a container doing that. So I just want to share that power of affirmation that came to be true. And that's not even like, I didn't put on my vision board even like a Bali picture or a Paris picture, but I had always dreamed of going to Paris since I was like, I remember in sixth grade dreaming of going to Paris and had that dream for many, many years. Um, and it just kind of passed by. And then I thought, okay, you're at some point I was like, you're too sick. I was very chronically ill. I was not gonna be ever able to go on that trip. And I accepted it. Um, but my soul remembered, right? And my heart remembered, the little girl inside of me remembered. And so then after several more retreats, I went to several retreats in LA, and and of course I had an amazing transformative experience in Sedona. Um, yeah, I went to like 3 or 4 retreats that were just weekend retreats here, like close locally to me in LA, just like an hour away. But I stayed in a different environment and was immersed in that. And even being so close by, that totally received great upgrades and transformations from that. Um, and really just felt like so cared for and loved and like grateful that I have this opportunity, that I have a life, that I have a body, that I can go on retreats. So that was really exciting to me. And then at one of the retreats that I was at, I met my friend Celeste. And when the opportunity came up, and she said, "Hey, do you want to go to Paris?" And this was getting pretty last minute, um, and I was like, "Yes, yes, I want to go to Paris. Like, let's make that happen, and let's not wait. Like, carpe diem, let's go. Like, yes, let's make it happen." And we went in September, and it was beautiful. And I really connected a lot with my inner child who really wanted to go there. And I had so much fun, not only with my inner child, but I know I made a podcast about taking myself on a date there because I felt very much like the romantic, embodied, beautiful, gorgeous woman there, also worthy of like a Paris trip and all the delicious food. And um, yeah, it was amazing. So affirmations matter. Affirmations work because it's what you're telling yourself. And there's a lot of things that you are telling your brain is telling you, like your unconscious mind is telling you, that are just old programs and old stories, and you're not listening. So you don't even know that they're running. And you wake up and they're just running. And there's stories about what kind of life you get to have, what kind of job, what level of joy do you get to have? How much do you get to receive? How much pleasure? How much fun? Like all of these things that were handed down to us, like ancestral, from our ancestors or from our parents, that we absorbed from our parents energetically, just watching them and the way that they interacted in the world. And of course, messages that were also told to us, like maybe you're not smart, or you're ugly, or all of the things that also were said that were hurtful and traumatic. And then, of course, traumas. I know that I had a lot of shame from traumas that I had been through in my life. And that was blocking a lot of blessings for me and keeping me locked in a world that is not my birthright. My birthright is joy, abundance, freedom. I came here with that. I came here whole, complete, beautiful, amazing. And I've peeled all these layers off of me now, that the world said this and the parents said this, and the kid, whatever. There's a was a lot. I had 50 years of that, like that I had to like unpack. And it feels so good. It feels so good to be free. That's why I feel so excited, and why I ultimately started my podcast too. Is like, we got to get more people free. I want everybody to know you can feel this free, even if you're, no matter what age you are, even if you're 80, like, get free. You can feel amazing. You can get your health back. You can age in reverse. You can get peace. You can have a quiet mind. You could speak kindly and softly and lovingly to yourself, thereby influencing others, just because energetically that's being put out. It's like proven to go out, and you're like 6 feet out. And so others are feeling that everywhere you go. So if you love yourself, you're also just putting that love out there. And to truly love yourself also, you got to get to know the parts that go into the shadow, go into the darkness, go into where you haven't felt good, or maybe where you've made choices that you didn't feel good about. Like, go in, accept those parts, forgive those parts, embrace those parts, love those parts, so that it doesn't block you from receiving all of the good that's there for you, that the good that's there in escrow for you. I don't want to misquote. I think it's Abraham Hicks that says that you've got this good in escrow, but that's so true. We have all this good waiting in escrow. And I have found even a few times like people offering to like do things for me, gift things for me. And it's not so much now, but because I notice it, but it's like there was a resistance to receive that of like, oh, no, 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 I give that, I don't receive it. And it's like, no, I receive it. Bring it on. Bring on more joy, more love, more pleasure, more in feeling pain. If I have to feel pain, I will feel that because I am not going to block my joy. And if you suppress your emotions, if you try to suppress the pain, you try to suppress all of that, you're also blocking your joy, your freedom, your laughter, your pleasure. So it is worth doing the work. And that's my message, like learn to love yourself. So this year has been such a transformative year. I could have never known or imagined I would have started a podcast. Again, that came out of a retreat that I went into this podcasting summit. And then it was like, oh, I can have a podcast. Okay, yeah, go start a podcast. And it's been super fun to do and also purposeful. And it's like, I want to do what I love in my life and what's meaningful and purposeful to me and that I enjoy. And I learned a lot about myself, about my human design, even, and how that even helped me. I got my Vedic astrology chart, like all of these things together. But the greatest thing was just like getting quiet with myself and like, what do I really want? And my message to people that are young is like, get connected with this, like, live your life this way, be free. The younger, the the more years you're going to have to live free and abundant, and the more years you're just going to live, period. And the fact that you're not going to get sick with chronic disease and illness, at a younger age, too. But you're going to have peace and joy and choices. And you're going to step out in faith and trust that you can make good choices. And you're not going to care what other people think about you, because when you really learn to love yourself deeply, it's like you become kind of untouchable in the sense that people can say stuff about you, but who cares, right? Because like you're the number one, what matters is what you think of you. So if you really love yourself, you're going to put yourself out there more. If I didn't learn to really love myself, I would not have had the courage to start a podcast. I was like the shyest person that would leave the room when someone took a photo. So, but it's only because it's like, I love myself. I'm just gonna push record and do my best. And I want to put some good out in the world. And I feel called to talk about these subjects. And so I had the freedom to also to do that. And it's been such a blessing. And then it was on my soul to have a retreat. After I went to the Bali retreat and after my Sedona retreat, it was like, I want to host a retreat in Sedona. I want to host a retreat in Bali. That is what feels like a, a 10 out of 10 in my life. That's what felt like a heck yes, do it. And I trusted the universe. And we already had our Sedona retreat in November. And it was so amazing. It was such a blessing to me. I know it blessed the women there, but just creating it and the act of, we are creators and we're meant to create. So I can't imagine going back into a life to where I'm not creating something in my life. Um, become like I used to hear that expression, become the main character, the main character in the story. Again, I'm not remembering the words right, but become a main character player, basically. Yeah, it's like, okay, I don't want to watch TV. I want to be the person in the TV. I want to go on that trip. I don't want to watch somebody in a movie go there. I want to go there. I want to live that. So I'm just super excited. Still finalizing a few things for the Bali retreat. And then gonna be staying there for a while and just excited. I'm also excited to just plan some like travel trips, like with some girls. Like I love community, some with just some women, but also with just people, with just humans. Like let's go together. Let's go together to Paris. Let's go together to Italy. Oh my gosh, let's go to Egypt. That's on my soul so much right now. It's just I want to go to Egypt. And then I would love to bring people to Egypt. I already know that, and I've never even been there, but my higher self knows, and I trust that. And I'm just awaiting the opportunity. And let me tell you, when the opportunity comes to go to Egypt, I'm on it. It's a yes, it's a hell yes, and I'm not gonna hesitate. I'm ready. I'm ready because I know what I want, and I know what feels good in my body, and I know what my soul wants, and I know what's a no in my body, and I honor and respect that as well. So as I reflect on 2024, this brings me a lot of emotions because it's been a dream year for me. Like bonus time, a life I never knew, a love I never knew I could feel, such a supportive sisterhood and friendships that I have that are so abundant that have just come into my life this year as well. Again, that came from retreats and investing in myself in different ways. Then I connected with other women that also were investing in themselves and upgrading their lives, and we connected. So, um, 2024 has been a transformative year. And I've had a lot of transformational years in the past that were very painful transformational years. And that was my path, right? And I worked through a lot of trauma. And even this year, I had a period when some trauma resurfaced and I had to work on it, but I had so many tools and it didn't go to where the level of where it used to go. I knew it was going to pass and I felt my feelings and I took good care of myself and parented myself with so much like love and kindness and it moved through and then it passed. So it's like, there's life, things are going to come up, right? But if you are doing the maintenance, like get all the old stuff out and then let in the good and then have a maintenance program for taking care of yourself with like daily meditation, breath work, whatever works for you, journaling techniques, whatever's going to work for you, that you don't let things get stored in your body and that you're taking in good. And also, like gratitude practice is really powerful. I started a gratitude practice when I was in it, like in it deep, struggled. Like I was like, I'm grateful for food. I'm grateful for my bed. Like barely able to come up with like 5 things to where now I wake up immediately. Immediately, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful for this. I'm excited for this. I get up and dance. Um, it's just automatic because I've trained my body and my mind to think that way and to see those things. And the more that you focus on those things, the more that they come. The more gratitude I have, the more I have to be grateful for, actually. But let me tell you, it just feels good to wake up and be excited for your day and be grateful um, for everything that's manifesting. And this has been my year. I can't even, somebody was saying, like, what's the word for 2024? I'm like, I can't even give it a word. I can just say, like, sisterhood, transformation, growth, self love, radical self love, which was the theme of our retreat in Sedona, in which I feel more passionately about helping women to like and people to love themselves so deeply. I think that gets rid of a lot of other stuff. If you love yourself so deeply, you are going to take care of your health and your body in a different way. So, self love, love and accept all parts of you. And my affirmation, I am a world traveler, came to fruition. So, what do you want to affirm? What are you affirming for 2025? I'd love it. Share in the comments. I'd love to hear what are you affirming, or send me a message in the Facebook group or on Instagram. What are you affirming for 2025? What are you envisioning? What do you want to manifest? And then what action are you taking? Are you journaling about it. I used to journal how it's going to feel when I do these things. Um, put myself in that mindset, listen to a lot of Dr. Joe Dispenza, right? And like not just didn't just say it, but felt it and felt what does it feel like to be so loved and so cherished um and then until it became my new default, right? I like reprogrammed it. I reprogrammed my subconscious. So now it's like I look for all the good and all the blessings um and I'm so loving and kind to myself if I don't get something done I have planned or whatever, like, I'm taking actions on things, but also I'm quick. I'm so quick to like, and not even that I need to forgive myself for things, but I'm just quick to say that's okay. Like you can do that another way tomorrow, right? Like um just to like I'm not hard on myself. I used to be so perfectionistic and my brain was like so critical, but that wasn't even my voice. That was the voice of people I grew up around. That was the voice of my ancestors. And so I've reprogrammed that. And I know that that is going to and is impacting future generations. And best of all, it's impacting me because it's like, well, what do I want to create? Because now I know I am the main player in this game. So I get to manifest what I want to manifest. And that includes traveling a lot more. That includes spending extensive periods of time in Bali. That includes being in sisterhood and in community, working with others to help them love themselves more radically also, and to get transformation and to live a life that they really want and that they really dream that their soul came here to experience. So 2024, I am so grateful for you. And like 2025, I'm like just like let's go. Let's go, let's go. I'm working on my affirmations and Bali's a big part of that. Also just I I'm gonna post a list of my affirmations actually, and then I'm gonna ask you all to also share some. What are you affirming? What are you manifesting? We're also gonna have another manifesting kind of vision boardy workshop that we'll do because that's always fun to do and that's fun to do in a group. So we'll do that again as well because that is a great fun way to start to think about like, well, what do I want to put? Where do I want to go? What do I want my health to look like? What kind of house do I want to live in? What kind of relationship do I want to have? What kind of relationship do I want to have to myself? And how do I want my body to feel? So yeah, I'm really, really grateful for this community. I'm so grateful. It's been so fun to have this podcast and it's been such a blessing. I'm so thankful for everyone who's been a guest so far this year. I'm so grateful for everyone who has listened and subscribed and commented. And I'm going to keep on bringing you beautiful, beautiful guests that have a story to tell of their own transformation, that have tools and guides to also uplift you and help you to transform. And I'm going to keep planning retreats and travel trips and fun. I'm going to say 2025 is going to incorporating a lot more dance and a lot more fun, a lot more joy, and travel, lots of travel and pleasure, bringing in just more pleasure. Okay, I love you guys so much. Blessings, blessings. Goodbye to 2024. Thank you for everything you brought and inviting in 2025 with you. Happy New Year. Happy new life. I love you so much. Bye.